Okay, so we're going to look at a different method of sketching absolute value functions. And we're going to focus on that an absolute value function is a v, so we just need to know the corner of the v and a point either side of that corner. And then once you've got that, you're able to then sketch your function. So, because once you've got your 3 points, you just have to start from the corner of the V and then sketch your V, obviously with a ruler. Okay, so let's have a look at the method. Now, first question, it says, we're going to sketch y equals absolute value of x plus 3 plus 1 and state its domain and range. Well, step number 1 is to find the coordinates of the vertex by considering the zero case. Now, the zero case is simply when the expression inside the absolute value sign is 0. So, in this case, when that is 0. So, y equals the absolute value of 0 plus 1 when x plus 3 is equal to 0. Now, absolute value of 0 plus 1 simplifies just to 1, and x plus 3 is equivalent to x equals minus 3. So that means we now have the coordinates of the vertex, negative 3, 1. So we can go down to our number plane and plot negative 3, 1. So negative 3, 1 is just here. Okay, now we need a point either side of the vertex. Now, I'm going to choose x equals 0 because 0 makes things a little bit easier. So I put x equals 0 in there, I get 0 plus 3, which is 3. Absolute value of 3 is 3 plus 1 is 4. Okay, which is my y-intercept, so 0, 4. Now I'm going to choose a point on the left-hand side of the vertex. So left of negative 3, I'm going to choose negative 4. I put negative 4 in here, I get negative 4 plus 3 is negative 1. Absolute value of that is 1, and add 1 is 2. So you get negative 4, 2. So you go negative 4, 2. And then you can sketch the function. So starting from the vertex, draw a straight line through 4 on the y-axis, and then starting from the vertex, draw a straight line through the other point. And there is your absolute value function. Okay, so don't forget to put arrows on either end there. Okay, so all we needed was the vertex, and we had a point either side of the vertex, and you're done. Okay, now let's have a look at the next question. Okay, so first thing we're going to do to sketch this is find the zero case, but actually I just remembered we didn't do the domain and range for this question, did we? So domain, well, the domain is all real x, isn't it? Okay, domain is all real x. And the range, whoops, don't know where that came from. The range is starting from 1 and going up to infinity. Okay, so let's just get rid of that text box. Okay. All right, now we can go to the next question. All right, now for this one, we're first going to look at finding the vertex. So step 1 is to find the vertex by looking at the zero case. So the zero case is when everything inside the absolute value is 0. Okay, and that occurs when the expression inside the absolute value is equal to 0. Okay, so that gives you y equals minus 1 when, now if you solve that, you're going to get 5 on 2 or 2.5. So your vertex is equal to 2.5 comma negative 1. we can now go to our number plane, put some numbers down here. So if I put 1 there, 2 there, 3 there, 1, 2, 3, 4, minus 1, minus 2, minus 3, negative 1, negative 2, that'll do. Okay, so if you go back to your vertex, what is it? It is 2.5, negative 1. So the vertex is 2.5, negative 1, so 2.5, negative 1 is here. There's my vertex. Now I need a point on either side of the vertex. Now think back to your equation. What is it? 5 minus 2x minus 1. So I'll just write that down here. Y equals absolute value of 5 minus 2x minus 1. We know that the vertex is at 2.5, negative 1, and I know I need a point either side of that vertex. Now, x equals 0 is a good idea because it gives me the y-intercept. So if I put x equals 0 into this, I get absolute value of 5, which is 5 minus 1 is 4. So there's my first point on the left-hand side of the vertex. Now I need something on the right-hand side of the vertex. I'm going to choose x equals 3. Now, if I do that, I get 5 minus 2 times 3 is 6. 5 minus 6 is negative 1. Absolute value of negative 1 is 1, minus 1 is 0, so it's 3 zeros. So it turns out that I also got the x-intercept there. Okay, now get your straight line, and you can now sketch your absolute value function. There we go. There's 1/2, and here's the other half. Now this method's important because when you're asked to find the domain and range, a quick sketch will help you do that. All right, now what is the domain and range for this function? Okay, so the domain, well, just like all the other ones, all real x, and the range, you can see that is starts at negative 1. So actually we need to have a square bracket there. And it goes up to infinity. Okay. So that's the quick way of doing absolute value functions. Okay, and then that way you can quickly determine the domain and the range. Okay, now that'll be the end of that video, and then we'll move on to the graphical solution of equations and inequations.